welcome into another edition of the Sunbelt Syndicate. I am Dominic Cressetto. We have a special co-host tonight, Mr. TJ O'Sullivan, who is a coastal grad, so it's a special episode for him for multiple reasons.
Absolutely.
We have the star of the show himself tonight, Mr. Sebastian Alexander. A heck of a game last night, man. So let's just start it off real nice and easy there. What was it like playing inside of an atmosphere at your home stadium with the biggest crowd to ever see a game there?
I would say we've played against in some big crowds, and having it be at our own place is really what sets it over the top. So I've never been in Springbrook Stadium with that many loud fans, and really it was just amazing. Honestly, it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the Conway Regional a couple years ago, like that's as packed as I've ever seen it. 5,300 fans last night, venue record. I mean, like what was the difference like? Because like you guys packed that stadium pretty much every weekend, but not to that level. So like what kind of an impact did the crowd noise have on the game?
So I will say during that regional, my perspective was a little different. So at the start of that season, I ended up having to get surgery for my shoulder. So I was out that whole year, and I spent those games. I was actually there was the tents out in left field. So my perspective was a little different, being out as kind of one of the fans in a way, rather than actually being out on the field. And I would say the energy was just right up there with that kind of regional vibe. And obviously the turnout, the amount of fans, something that we have never done before. So, so that energy was just, the place was lit up in a way that we've never had it before.
Yeah. Luckily enough, I'm in Chapel Hill, so I'm like 3 hours away, but I got to leave work a little bit early and get down there for the game and take it in. My first coastal baseball game ever. I've been to a football game down there. I had walked past the facility, but never yet gone into it.
It's a great first game, Dom.
Yeah, there couldn't. I told everybody I knew at work today, friends who knew I had gone to the game. I said, I don't know if I've ever been to a better baseball atmosphere. Like the fact you can walk around the whole place is a big improvement to many college stadiums. I know others do have it, but they're usually the bigger ones with a whole lot more money. But Coastal is like this perfect little. It's not little, but it's just set up so well to walk through, enjoy the sight lines. There's a lot of really good seats. You could stand, you can sit, and you can see the whole thing play out. It's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, obviously, it's a huge advantage for you guys to play at home. What is it like when you have something like this going on the road? I mean, is it hard to get up for some of those games when it's not packed out at this point because you guys have done it so successfully for so long now?
I would say it's not that different. It kind of elevates you a little bit more when you're at home with your fans, but like the standard that we try and set every day as a team and just the energy that we show up with has never been affected by kind of what's going on around us. And I really do believe that, not even just saying that. We try to pack our dugout with as much energy and really focus on what's going on in there. So I would say the moments feel bigger when you have a lot of fans and the uproar at different points in the game, but really like feeling the dugout and feeling what the energy you guys are bringing, we could be playing in front of 10 fans or 10,000, and I think we can still have the right intensity.
Well, and you guys brought the energy last night. You got the win, 5-3, sweep the season series against Clemson. Talk about your performance for a second. You lead the team in hits. You went 5 for 3, 2 runs, stolen base. I mean, what was your mindset going into this game? Because I mean, you're batting nearly 300 on the season. Like you're capable of these performances, but it seemed like, especially with the way you were hitting the ball last night, you had a little something extra.
I would say it kind of goes back to our team identity, which is to own it, and that means owning your role as it fits into like the team as a whole, and also owning your mistakes. And I just knew my role was to put together consistent at bats, and whether they be hits or whether I'm needed to bunt or different, just being versatile enough to whatever the game needs to kind of push the team along. Because really, like, our team doesn't have big, big stars or big names that we like have to rely on. It's a different guy every night, and that's kind of what makes us go. And that's why we've been able to put together an incredible season so far, is because it's not a one guy show. It's me doing my part today, and then I know that my teammates are going to do what they need to do the next day, and we rely on each other when we kind of can't do our part in a way. So that's kind of, last night was me just trying to be just competitive and push it on to the next guy.
I know TJ has a real specific question he wants to get to. I'm going to jump in here. Look, this picture, man. I got to just break character here for a minute. But are you like a male model? Look at this thing, man. You're jacked. You got the look. You got the hair. Like you're at a beach college. Like, I mean, are you getting asked
That's
to do
funny.
like photo shoots and stuff?
No, I try my hardest because there does seem to be a lot of cameras around as of late. I guess the social media push it's a big deal. So I try my best not to get caught staring at the camera too much. So I don't know if I'm playing it cool or what, looking off into the distance, but I try to ignore it as much as I can. I feel like it comes out with better pictures when you're not like forcing the moment, but I appreciate that.
I feel like that's got to be hard to do, to avoid the cameras, because like the athletic department is doing a tremendous job in the recent years of like upping the social media content. So like I'm sure that there's plenty of cameras all around there. I mean, like you guys are. I'm seeing more of the team than I've seen of any team at Coastal than I've seen ever coming out of that athletic department.
Yeah, no, they're the marketing department, everything, they've been really turning it up.
Yeah, so, I was there in person, and I can tell you, just walking around, how many ESPN cameras or Coastal cameras or people with cameras are at every turn. It was everywhere. And TJ, you probably know more about this. They did like and Sebastian, maybe you know a lot about this as well. They did a sights and sound broadcast separate from the game broadcast. I didn't even know that was a thing until I saw it going around on social media today. So I guess, TJ, I'm going to have you actually talk about that. And then Sebastian, whatever you do or don't know about that. I mean, I don't know if it's something you were aware of before last night or not, but.
Yeah, I mean, I can say that I've worked alongside Alex Souza, who was in charge of the broadcasts over at Coastal Carolina. And the jump that they've seen, and Sebastian, like you're playing on the field, so you don't watch the broadcasts like we do, but like just watching what happens, like they've got cameras walking around the stadium now. They've got the camera underneath the score bug in the top left corner of the guy on first, like, and now they've got new mics all around, so you get to hear more of it. And I actually didn't see the sounds of the game broadcast, or else I probably would have checked it out. But like Alex Souza and the team over there, I mean, they're doing a great job. Yeah, no, definitely. I've gotten to see the evolution after having been here for 3 years, and I feel like they're pumping out new stuff weekly. Whether it be you get the camera on you after a home run and it follows you back in the dugout, like different little moments that haven't been captured before that you get to watch back and really like soak it in a different kind of way. And then the mic position and everything, I've definitely noticed that they've definitely put some focus into it. And speaking of which, I'm going to jump in, Dom. You said when you hit a home run, the camera follows you around, and I am going to talk about this for a second. What was the situation? It was one of the most bizarre situations that you were involved in that I've ever seen on a baseball field. home run, they let you get all the way around the bases and halfway to the dugout, and then they call it back. Like I'm not gonna let you say whether or not you thought it was fair or foul.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you it was fair. But just talk about that situation. Like, what was the communication like between the umpires? Like, it just seemed like everybody was caught off guard.
I will say, off the bat, I'm usually able to kind of tell what the ball's going to do. A lot of guys down the left field line, they'll hook balls a lot. Me personally, I usually stay pretty true to the line. So if it starts fair, it usually is going to end up fair. So off the bat, I pretty much put my head down and I just expected that it was going to be in the field of play. And just the uproar, like surrounding the stadium, I think everybody else kind of agreed with that idea. So I personally didn't really wait to see what it did. So I'm rounding the bases and heard nothing. And it was funny. I get to around third, and I'm looking up for my third base coach, Coach Ox, and he's not where he should be. So part of me was like, part of me thought I didn't know what to think. I thought I got ejected because I didn't bat flip, but I kind of flicked the bat afterwards. So part of me, I'm sitting there like, I got ejected from the game. That has to be it. And then I get to home plate, and they're like, grab your bat. Like, you're not done.
Yeah, so that's not over.
Yeah. And I think my coach said, which they could have reviewed it. He wanted me to kind of stay in the flow of the game and stay locked in and not have a long delay, because those calls are hard to get overturned. So he said to just, all right, get back in there and get on base. So it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out. You ended up getting on, swinging at either the next pitch or the pitch after that. You score on a pass ball. So like Dom was yelling in the stands, ball don't lie. You ended up crossing the plate anyway.
Right.
But you've got 9 home runs in my book on the season. That hooked fair, in my personal opinion, but I'm not going to let you get in trouble.
That's all right. I guess I went all the way around. I went and touched home plate, so in my brain, I guess it counted too. So we'll see.
Well, I gotta ask this question because Marv is usually the guy who asked this one, and he's not on here tonight. But typically, when you hit one, you talked about chucking the bat a little bit, but typically, is it more of a bat toss or is it more of a slow trot, or you kind of mix it up?
It's never a bat flip. Usually, when I get one right, there's kind of a recoil, and it's just you kind of let it go. And I don't think I've ever slow trotted in my life because I'm just so excited to get in that dugout. That's where the fun happens, when you're going through the tunnel and you're like high on life at that point. So usually I'm pretty decent getting around the bases so I can go and party with the guys.
Well, 21 stolen bases. I don't think you've ever slow trotted on a baseball field. I mean,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's too easy to do. Talking about the stolen bases, also talk about a little bit about how you guys were successful in the outfield last night. I mean, just all the way around, it felt like Clemson's best play was to hit it short. I mean, honestly, like they got on base more often on the little dinky stuff than they did do anything in the outfield, except for they hit 1 home run last night. Yeah. So besides that one, I mean, you guys just completely shut them down. So talk about that performance.
I would say it was the Wells Sykes show in center.
Beat me to it.
I don't know that I got a ball all night. I really don't remember. I just remember seeing him flying everywhere. And then we had a good play in right by Pato on that foul ball. So I was kind of a spectator out and left, just getting to see him track those balls down. And he even got some recognition on MLB Baseball. I think they reposted some of his plays on Twitter. So that's what I got for you. I was backing him up if those catches didn't get made, but really I was just kind of watching in awe because he came down with some good catches.
There were a lot of seats filled last night, 5,300 of them, but you had the best seats in the house for those plays. Yeah. I mean, that was incredible. Just to see him do it once was enough, but then he followed it up a second and third time Wells Sykes had a tremendous performance in center field last night. Another performance we got to talk about on kind of a sad note. Tell us, how is Walker Mitchell doing? I mean, he got beat up last night.
Well, I would like to think at this point he's used to it. He's got to be setting some sort of hit by pitch records. And I know I've seen him today, and he looked like he was all right. And he's a tough kid, so that's, I guess, getting on base. That's part of it. And he does a good job at it. So,
is he known for hugging the plate a little bit, or like is it just he's just a magnet for some reason?
He might be close to the plate, but he doesn't. He's not over the plate. I'm the one I'll get these plays reviewed. I'll get hit on the elbow and they'll review it. They don't review his very often because he earns them. We'll say that. He earns them. They're usually shoulder, back, they get the media areas. And I don't know how it happens to him so often. He went on a hit by pitch bender a couple weeks ago too, where he had more than I could count. So that on base percentage matters to us a lot. So he's doing his job for sure.
Absolutely. TJ, I'll take this next one, but the pitching last year was not up to Coastal standards, I guess I'll say. And that's just me reading what Coastal fans said. That's not my personal opinion. Trust me. I'm not an expert to tell anybody that something's not where it should be or whatever. But there's been a massive and obvious jump this year as well, right? You guys had the bats last year. That was really never a concern, but the pitching said, we got guys coming in. We're going to have them ready for next year. The Coastal fans know baseball, right? I mean, you don't need to be told that, but maybe some of the people listening or watching do. What did you see or feel maybe coming into the year, and then specifically what they've been able to do up till lately and everything else as far as what's been going on the mound this year down there in Conway?
I will say our new pitching coach, Matt Williams, it seemed like he got the respect of our staff pretty quickly, which is a big deal when he's kind of coming into a new role with a lot of different players that he's never had to deal with before. And so he gained the respect pretty quickly, and it's because he's pretty amazing at what he does. And I can just tell by just the process that our pitchers go through weekly. It's like an assembly line of just constant work at the right things. And it helped a lot that we had guys get healthy. Morrison Potok, Ryan Lynch, having those guys get healthy to kind of be at the forefront of this pitching staff, paired up with Matt Williams, was pretty amazing to happen at the right time.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
A 3.46 team ERA, 1.22 WHIP. This is one of the top staffs in the nation. And I as a Coastal alum, like I said before we jumped on here, I've watched great lineups and I've watched great starting pitching, but it's never really been a full staff where it's top to bottom, just guys you can throw out there that are. It's just a lockdown 9 innings. This year, it's insane what you guys have accomplished or what that staff has accomplished. And one of those guys that has really been turning heads, guy last night, Luke Jones. He comes in for his second start against top 10 Clemson of the season, throws another 4 stellar innings, 4 1/3 this time. Talk about that kid. This is a freshman going up against a top 10 Clemson. Just for lack of better terms, the stones on this kid to come in and pitch the way that he's pitching. Talk about his development throughout the year.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we got you.
All right. It comes back to self-belief, and freshman, sometimes having that much belief in yourself is hard to come by. But he's pretty much overflowing with that. And I can promise you he could care less who's in the other dugout. It could be the New York Yankees, and he's going to show up with his same process, with his same just focus, it didn't matter to him. It really doesn't. And to have a freshman that poised, throwing on Tuesday night against great teams, like that's just what he's one of the guys who just puts our pitching staff just on another level. Just having a consistent 4-guy rotation is not easy to come by.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've talked about your transformation a little bit on the pitching mound, but what I think some people fail to realize is that they look at the sunbelt as a mid-major, or not the top of the food chain, which I think is a big mistake. I know TJ agrees with me there, and that's not just for Coastal. That really goes for a lot of the teams within the sunbelt. So when you're talking about a big improvement, it's a even bigger improvement than people realize when they go back and look at the strength of schedule you guys played, because outside of the conference, you guys really tested yourselves. So full credit for Coastal and the administration for getting you into these preseason tournaments with teams you guys truly belong with. It's not like we're going in there hoping to beat some of these teams. Like, you expect to win. Is that part of the draw? Is that part of the reason you ended up at Coastal Carolina? Because, you were in Phoenix College and Kent State before you came over here. So you had some different parts of the country literally that you were in, but you end up at Coastal Carolina. So what was the big draw for you to end up in Conway?
So when I was younger, I had a 14U baseball tournament in Myrtle Beach, and it kind of opened my eyes to college baseball, because I was at that age where I wasn't getting recruited by anyone, but I got a chance to kind of visit the stadium and got to see kind of what like a major college baseball program kind of looked like. And I fell in love with it. Absolutely. And it actually, Coastal was the only school that I did like a camp for. And this was a satellite camp. So I did it, I believe it was in PA. So it really was my dream to come and make it to this program. And it took me a few years of playing at a couple of different universities. But when I got in contact with Coach Schnall, it was pretty much, I was ready to sign on the dotted line.
And you talked about Coach Schnall, and I do want to talk to you about him as well, because this is his first season, as a head coach. But he's a longtime assistant under Gary Gilmore. Like, this isn't a guy coming in that's inheriting a program and he has to get a feel for the guys. Like, no, he's been around you guys, and he has headed recruiting for you guys for a very long time. So just talk about him and the transition from Gary Gilmore to Coach Schnall, and like just how he is to play for.
I would say what makes Coastal so interesting, and pretty much it makes us just have that extra edge, is the fact that a big part of our staff have graduated from Coastal, have spent years playing here, and they have like a real love for the place. And him especially, the amount of years that he's spent and like just dedicated his time to the program and stuck it out, knowing that he had plenty of other opportunities to kind of to level up sooner. But he obviously waited his turn behind Coach Gilmore, and I could see it, that obviously the season that he's helped us put together as a team is kind of a testament to like the hard work paying off. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you talk about that season. I mean, he's the winningest first-year head coach in program history. He's got 38 wins after the win last night. And I mean, just look at what you guys have accomplished. Like, you talk about the national picture, right? When you're talking about the teams that are going to host a regional when it comes time for the tournament, you guys have the in-conference play box checked. You've played eight series thus far. You've won 7 of them. You've swept 5 of the 7 that you've won. So like that box checked. Dom was saying how you guys tested yourself out of conference. You guys play North Carolina. That one is an 11-inning, extra inning game. You guys come up just short, but like that was a game that you guys were in it all the way until the end. You sweep the series with Clemson. But the one series that kind of sticks out is the 2-game series with Wake Forest. And how, that just seems to hold a lot of weight. So I wanted to talk to you about what the mindset was heading into this game, because from me sitting on the outside, like I'm not in the clubhouse, that just seemed like a must-win game for you guys. It's a top 15 matchup, right? You want to win all of those.
Yeah.
But that one seemed like a must-win game if you guys want to secure a regional. Can you talk about like what led up to that game that yesterday?
Well, I don't think as a team we weren't looking at it necessarily as a must-win game by itself. We feel like the rest of our schedule, the regular season, are must-win games. And I feel like we do a really good job at focusing on the present and having a one-day plan. And last night, our one-day plan was to get another win. We're obviously we're conscious of what that does for the bigger picture of things. Yes, but last night was that's the level that we expect to play at, and that goes for the rest of the season. So it really isn't a game that we're going to put on a pedestal necessarily. It matters a lot to us that the fans would come and support us in the way that they did, and the university as a whole, the production that they put on, it was almost like a show, and it was amazing to get to watch it from my perspective. So we knew that everyone is pouring into us as they have year in, year out. So we need to kind of put up our end of the bargain, which is playing really good baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. What's great about what I experienced last night, like I said, it was my first time there, but what didn't seem to exist that has existed across multiple sports for sunbelt teams is like the chance at this big upset, right? It just felt like this could have been a conference game. It mattered to win it, but it wasn't like if we win, it's surprising. If we win, it's this amazing thing that no one expects. Coastal Carolina has built a reputation on the field that exceeds all of that. I mean, I think Southern Miss and Louisiana and Troy this year are all kind of towards that level as well. But the first time I felt it in person as a fan was last night, when it's like, it's a big game because you guys are ranked highly. It didn't matter if Clemson was ranked highly. It just had to be this big buildup, but it wasn't because it was this monumental upset, this thing that people didn't expect. When you guys won, everyone was in the stands going up, excited about a win, but there wasn't people that like were turning around and saying, I can't believe this happened, right? Because that's just not.
Absolutely not, yeah.
Yeah, Coastal, it deserves to be where they're at because they've done it. They've had the longevity of doing it. And that's one of the things, and I really have a question about it, but it was palpable last night. Like, I've been to App State and Carolina in football. I was at JMU UNC this past year. When those types of wins happen, it shocks everybody. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is wild because it was unexpected, but that didn't exist at all last night, and that just tells you where this program is. And that's a credit to the coaches, of course, and all of you guys doing it on the field. So I just want to tell you, as a fan, as an outsider, it's still it holds weight to me that it wasn't. This is where they're supposed to be. This is exactly the environment that they're going to thrive in. And I've gone on a total binge. So TJ, take it from me from here.
No, I mean I love the mindset. One game at a time. But when you can win those top 10 matchups, I mean that it just makes it that much sweeter.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to jump in and talk about the Sun Belt a little bit more. Obviously, that's the show. That's what we focus on the most. You've been around for 2 years now in the Sun Belt. Like, where's been your favorite place to play, or the most rowdy, or maybe just anything that sticks out specifically? The food while you were there, maybe Louisiana has that reputation. But what sticks out to you the most?
If we're talking specifically this year, it was a good time getting to go play at Troy, and they ended up having a good turnout. and I would say in general, after the 2 years I've been here, Southern Miss, the way that their fans kind of get behind their guys, it was honestly, that was my first game that I've ever played in front of like a serious crowd. I'll say that, serious crowd. And so they have a great support. Definitely, that's a place where you can get lost in yourself real quick if you're not focused on your approach and your team as a whole. You can kind of get lost in the hype and with the fans, the energy that they're bringing. You can definitely kind of find yourself a little bit out of sorts, we'll say.
And you mentioned the two big turnouts at Troy and Southern Miss, and those are the places that you really enjoyed playing. And Southern Miss, Troy, Coastal, cream of the crop of the Sun Belt, and I think that's a testament to just the fan base is buying into what you guys are doing on the field. So it really is a testament to the hard work that you guys are putting in.
Absolutely. Like the top of our conference, and honestly, we're consistent. The conference is pretty competitive all throughout, but the strides that kind of at the top that we've made, getting national recognition is very impressive.
Yeah. We had a little post go a little viral, if you will, from last night. I don't know if you've seen it. I didn't plan on anything crazy with it. I just thought it was kind of a funny, clean moment, but they're ribbing the pitchers down there, warming up pretty good.
Okay.
Talk about how that helps an environment, because the crazy thing to me, it's not crazy, I guess. I have a little bit in me too, but just about every interview, we've had the players talk a little bit about that, and they love those types of atmospheres. They actually want that. They don't want you to not bother them and sit there quietly, right? They want to be involved. They want to be – so, like, you thrive on that personally, and you guys thrive on that as a team. I mean, I would say last night I saw it, but I'll let you speak for it.
I would say the right guys feed off of it, and I think that we have a lot of those right guys. Because if you look at it from the right lens, energy is energy. Whether it's that hate energy that a lot of times happens over in the opposing team's bullpens, which our fans keep it pretty classy. So I know it's pretty clean over there. But energy is energy if you can see it that way. And getting to see the guys in Clemson get a little taste of it was it kind of puts a smile on your face knowing when we played them in the regional, I got to be right over by our bullpen, so you get to see kind of how their fans do their thing, and it's fair play when it's at your place. So and it's all fun. That's really what can elevate even some of our pitchers, feed off of stuff like that, and just kind of can elevate some little moments for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, this has been great. I'm glad we got to do this tonight. And I don't know, this is the NIL era. There's all kinds of stuff going on in the background. Is there anything you want to talk about specifically? You want to focus on? You want to give a shout out to before we let you go? We know you guys have a quick turnaround. I guess one thing we can talk about real quick is you guys start Thursday instead of Friday like everybody else.
Right.
Is there? Do you know a reason behind that, or is that something that they just seem to be doing for some reason?
I can't say I know the reason behind it, but I'm for it. We're going to have a chance to have a good weekend here, take a Sunday, have a Sunday off, which isn't typical. So I'm absolutely for it.
Well, nice. TJ, any last words from you, sir?
No, I mean, an absolute pleasure having you on. Good luck tomorrow. Congratulations on the win yesterday, and looking forward to seeing what you guys do in the Sunbelt Conference tournament.
Thank you, guys. It's been awesome.
Absolutely.
Glad that you guys got to kind of experience some of it with me yesterday. And yeah, I would just give a shout out to just the Chant fans as a whole, who kind of made that moment what it was. setting the attendance record. It was just a great moment that I got to kind of be a part of. So I'm grateful. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think best of luck to you going into the tournament, as TJ said, but we also expect a little bit of a host venue. Maybe you set a new record before the season's over. So I know you guys would love to see that. We'd love to see that. I'd like to get a chance to go back. I mean, like I said, really and truly, one of the best baseball pros, minors, whatever, one of the best baseball games I've ever been to in general. So phenomenal atmosphere. We look forward to more from you and the Coastal guys down there in Conway. Best of luck, man.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.